Hello and welcome to the first October 23 edition of Whether or Not. While you're setting up your Halloween decorations and spooking up your house, let us tell you about what's been happening across the nation and at home this past week. Stay tuned for Tyler Jankoski's Central Pennsylvania forecast for your hay rides, apple picks, and football tailgates. Fall is in the air and Whether or Not is about to begin. Hello and welcome to Whether or Not. I'm your host, Tom Bedard.
And I'm your forecaster, Tyler Jankoski.
Tyler, the weather has been beautiful the past 2 weeks, and the colors with the fall foliage have been up to matching it.
You know, the weather has been pretty nice the last couple of days, above average in the temperature department by several degrees. And you know what? This weekend, a lot of people probably want to go leaf peeping, but does rain impact the forecast? I'll have the details coming up.
And I look forward to hearing them. For now, let's turn to nature in the news. Some central and western Pennsylvania counties are now eligible for federal disaster aid. On October 1st, FEMA reported the Presidential Declaration of Disaster for Pennsylvania as a result of this past summer's late June and early July storms. Between June 26 and July 11th, damage from strong storms, flash flooding, and tornadoes caused an estimated $19.8 million in damage to 14 counties in central and western parts of the state. Governor Tom Corbett requested federal aid for the first time on July 11th, but requested additional aid 2 more times before receiving the official declaration. FEMA reported that the declaration makes federal funding available for repair and maintenance of damaged facilities and for emergency work in the counties of Center, Clearfield, Clinton, Fayette, Huntington, Venango, and Wayne, resulting from flooding, tornadoes, and strong storms. The funding is provided on a cost-sharing basis, which means that organizations or individuals will cover a small portion of the money that they require for recovery efforts. Funding on the same cost-sharing basis is available for all Pennsylvania counties as pertains to hazard mitigation efforts. Donald L. Kelton, the federal coordinating officer for recovery operations in the Commonwealth, stated that damage assessments are still ongoing.
An early morning tornado formed in an unlikely location this past Monday. Residents in southern Seattle awoke to homes without power in the aftermath of the tornado that formed at 7:20 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The twister struck an industrial park in Frederickson, Washington in the morning hours of September 30th. 3 manufacturing plants inside of the industrial park were damaged. Northwest Doors, a garage door manufacturer, sustained structural roof damage. Workers inside the factory began to evacuate as they saw the sheet metal roof began to flex and twist in winds exceeding 100 miles per hour. As the vortex approached the neighboring Boeing airplane factory, it destroyed car windows and caused minor damage. The twister also caused some damage to a portion of the Seattle Tunnel project, which is being constructed in the industrial park. The damage was confirmed by the National Weather Service to have EF1 tornado damage. The same storm system that spawned the tornado has provided the region with heavy rain as well. Records for total rainfall were set in Olympia National Park with 9 inches, SeaTac Airport with 6.16 inches, and Portland, Oregon with 6.82 inches. The damaging storms have caused over 110,000 power outages throughout Oregon and Washington since the storms began.
News media has been a blur about the federal government shutdown that began on the midnight of Monday, September 30th. The effects have been felt across the nation as furloughs and federal organization closures have been prompted. Do you know how this affects the federal government entities like the National Weather Service, the National Hurricane Center, or NASA? Rest assured that organizations critical to the protection of life, land, and property, such as the National Weather Service and Hurricane Center, will continue their primary functions. That is to say, the weather stops for no man. All federal weather forecasting offices will maintain normal hours and necessary staffing. You will still be able to receive NWS alerts and forecasts throughout the duration of the shutdown. NASA operations will follow a similar path while decreasing their typical staffing of 1,800 individuals to 600. However, if you made plans to visit a national park this fall, you will have to delay it until the federal government reopens.
Concerns that the federal government shutdown transitioning atmospheric limits can now be alleviated. Operations with the Mars rover through the Jet Propulsion Laboratory are being maintained despite other government operations being halted. The Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or JPL, is a private contractor that operates both Mars rovers and is not, at this time, directly affected by the change. The Hubble Space Telescope, on the other hand, will be affected by the change. While the telescope will not be taken out of operational capability, the scientists who take care and analyze its data will not be able to work until the furloughs are ended. It is not considered an option necessary to the protection of life, land, or property, so it does not fall under the same guise as federal weather forecasting. All right, let's take a look at that forecast. It's certainly not a perfect weekend, but it's not a washout either. Here we are on Friday, a warm front just barely north of Centre County. That leaves us with mostly cloudy skies, perhaps a shower during the day. Notice high pressure over North Carolina pumping in the mild air, so it's going to be exceptionally mild, at least compared to the average this weekend in Centre County. On Saturday, the front really doesn't make much progress to the north, and for that reason, we're left with mostly cloudy skies and the chance of a shower again on Saturday. Still mild across the area, but look at this. On Sunday, even though the storm system is still in the area, I think we're right in the middle of the warm sector, so that means partly cloudy skies with showers to our north and west, but I don't think we're going to see any showers here on Sunday. So Sunday is the pick of the weekend across Centre County. If you have any outdoor activities, perhaps apple picking or leaf peeping, Sunday would be the day to do it. All right, let's break down the forecast in detail. On Friday, perhaps a shower, maybe a rumble of thunder, but certainly the exception and not the rule. A high of 79 degrees, so very mild compared to the standard for this time of year. Friday night, mostly cloudy, a couple of showers in the area, a low of 60. On Saturday, it's the same story again, perhaps a shower, but notice a high of 80 degrees. That is exactly 15 degrees above the average here in Centre County, so some impressive warmth all weekend long. And then for Saturday night, I think the showers work out of the picture, but we're left with mostly cloudy skies, a low of 60 degrees. And then on Sunday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 78. Again, Sunday, the pick of the weekend with no showers in the central Pennsylvania area. I'll be back in a couple of minutes with the extended forecast.
Welcome to Hockey Valley. Have you ever wondered about the microclimate inside the ice arena? I sat down recently with the Office of Physical Plant's Communications Coordinator, Paul Ruskin, to talk to him about the new Pegula Ice Arena.
Penn State has its own weather. We are a microclimate on campus because the campus adds heat from the buildings to the local climate. And then the microclimate in the ice rink is a microclimate within the campus climate. So yes, the weather does affect it. We get solar input onto the top of the building, and we control that by having the top of the building a light color. The Pegula ice rink is off-white on the top. That reflects sunlight away so that the building does not overheat.
Along with overheating outside, inside, moisture levels must be maintained.
One of the dangers with ice rinks is that if you get a lot of moisture in the air, since the area is cool above the surface of the ice, you can have fog. And it's not a lot of fun to skate around in the fog. So we have large dehumidification units which dehumidify the air so that the students and the faculty don't have to skate in the fog.
Cooling an ice rink is important and obvious. However, the ice rink must be heated underneath as well.
Because the ice is kept cool all the time, year-round, there is a danger of permafrost being formed underneath the structure of the building. If you get permafrost, you can crack concrete and cause all kinds of architectural problems. To prevent that, we have a heating element under the ice. So there is the cool ice, then underneath the ice you have an insulating layer, and then you actually heat the soil below the structure. So we not only cool the building, we heat it at the same time.
This new Lion's Den for the hockey teams includes state-of-the-art technology that helps the environment by reducing greenhouse gas emissions put into the atmosphere.
Penn State is always looking for new technology to reduce our greenhouse gas and carbon footprint. We are doing that in the new rink by, number one, adopting a Zamboni, which is propane powered instead of gasoline powered. So we're using propane, which is a very clean fuel. The other interesting aspect is that we monitor the CO2, which is exhaled by the spectators and the skaters. As you breathe out, you put CO2 into the air. We monitor the carbon dioxide, and that level tells us how many people are in the building. If a lot of people are in the building, the fans run at high speed. If there are only a dozen people in the building, the fans run at low speed, and that saves us energy and prevents emissions from going into the atmosphere.
If you would like to check out the microclimate inside the arena, you can come to the home opener on October 11th. For tickets, go to either the box office or order them online. For Whether or Not, I'm Christy Shields.
All right, let's take one last look at that weekend forecast. It's very mild. Check this out on Friday, a high of 79 degrees, and that warmth sticks around on Saturday and on Sunday. Those high temperatures are more than 10 degrees above the average here in Center County, so some impressive warmth. Now, we do have a chance of showers on Friday and also on Saturday with a warm front just barely to our north on the Pennsylvania-New York border. So keep an eye out for a shower, but I don't think the chance is that great. It's more the exception and not the rule. On Sunday, the forecast turns a bit better with partly cloudy skies. I think we stay shower-free on Sunday, so Sunday is the pick of the weekend. If you have any outdoor plans, perhaps you want to go apple picking or leaf peeping. I know the color is starting to reach high levels in north central Pennsylvania. Sunday would be the day that you want to do that. Here's a look at the extended forecast. We have showers in the picture on Monday because a cold front will be passing through the area. I kept the showers in there on Tuesday because there are some indications that some tropical moisture will work up from the Gulf of Mexico and right up the eastern seaboard. We'll keep you posted on that. Then on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, partly cloudy skies. Notice the temperatures remain above average, so for the first full week of October, it is certainly mild across Center County.
Well, Tyler, the weather this weekend looks warm.
It does, 5 to 10 degrees above average in the high temperature department. And even though a couple of showers sneak into the forecast later this weekend, it's not going to be a washout either day. So if you have outdoor plans for apple picking or for leaf peeping, the weather is going to cooperate this weekend for the most part across the county. So good news for those that are looking to head out this weekend.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I'm hoping to go pumpkin picking this weekend, and that brings us back to our Weather Whiz quiz. The Weather Whiz quiz this week was, when does prime pumpkin picking season typically take place in central Pennsylvania? A, October 1st through the 31st. B, October 1st through the 15th. C, October 15th through the 31st. Or D, September 15th through October 31st. The answer is B, October 1st through the 15th. Now, Tyler, the reason that is such a short harvesting period is because farmers, for lack of a better term, want to get the fruit, or vegetable in this case, off the shelf before the first frost or freeze of the season, which typically occurs around the 15th of October, but that's not a perfect number.
You know what, the good news for farmers, even though it's been abnormally dry, there are no frosts or freezes in the forecast, at least in the short term. It's going to be an above average start to October.
Well, it sounds like it's going to continue to be a beautiful October just as it has been. So we hope that you go outside and enjoy it. This has been this week's session of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Tom Bedard.
And I'm your forecaster, Tyler Jankoski.